And so we come to the time when it's traditional for the president of the college to offer a valedictory to the graduating class. That is, to say goodbye, and of course, to offer a few words in parting, and to be welcomed by the skies, I hope. I have known you all for 4 years, watched you grow and change. Your leaving will be truly painful. What will we do without those of you who have presented your research at the American Chemical Society, sung with the choir, soloed with the jazz ensemble, founded the Young Entrepreneurial Society, led the greenhouse, showed up on rainy Saturday mornings in your jaywalker shirts to greet prospective students, won awards for your Greek leadership, represented the college at NCAA national tournaments, and shared your stories of traveling to Ecuador, New York, Spain, Uganda, China, the Zuni Reservation, South Africa, and around the world. You will be sorely missed by those of us who have taught and guided you. You will leave a hole in our hearts. But this is a natural transition, and we must let you go. 4 years ago, on a hot August day, you and your parents gathered on this very spot for matriculation. As part of that ceremony, we talked about the college's values, you signed the college's mission statement, and you received the pin you are wearing today. Then, you learned witchy quacks. Take a minute and remember that day. Remember who you were then. What did you believe? How did you interact with people who held ideas that were different from yours? What did you think about art, about science, about history? What were your goals? What did you know about the world? Now compare that image with who you are today. What do you believe now? What do you know about the world that you didn't know then? How do you interact with people now? What do you value? Your evolving self was nurtured by your life in this special community that we call Washington and Jefferson College. You changed as you made new friends and left old ones, learned to celebrate victory and grow from defeat. You changed because Dr. Leonard challenged you to examine your life goals, because Lisa Hamilton helped you deal with grief, because Dr. Verdun pushed you to complete that Magellan proposal. Your growth was catalyzed by the intense and individualized human interaction you experienced at W&J. In a recent New York Times opinion piece, David Brooks pointed out that there are two different kinds of virtues: resume virtues and eulogy virtues. The resume virtues are the familiar ones that you put on your resume, those that grow from our ambition to be someone in the exterior world, to earn money, to win recognition. The eulogy virtues are those that are spoken of when you die: honesty, dependability, charity, and lovingness. These arise from the more humble, the more internal version of ourselves. As you leave W&J, you will enter a world that buzzes with marketing pitches and swirls of data, with reality shows that do not reflect reality at all. You will enter a world where the melodrama of Deflategate is front-page news, displacing information on earthquakes in Nepal, rising nationalism in Europe, and the thorny questions of free speech that provoked murders in Paris and then Texas. And as Howard Feynman pointed out, you are going to have to sort out this whole mess for yourself. As you take on that task, you're going to need the knowledge, the critical thinking skills, and the sense of character you developed here. You are going to need resume virtues and eulogy virtues. To negotiate your place in the world is going to require balancing the need to be soft and the need to be firm. On one hand, you're going to have to stiffen your backbone, take a strong stance, work hard. This is the impulse that feeds your ambition, that drives you to compete, that keeps you at work until a job is done, not until just the day is over. When your classmates or coworkers show up late or leave a project unfinished, the ambitious side of you will ensure that you show up early, complete your work, and earn the respect that this kind of tireless dedication deserves. This zeal will help you succeed in the workplace and outside of it. This firmness of character is also present in the perseverance you learned at W&J. You know that when you fail, and we all do more often than we like to admit, the best response is not to give up, but rather to work harder and to seek help, whether you're trying to learn how to analyze a math problem or you're completing a complex legal brief. Your ability to work hard and to persevere will help you in the years ahead. Now, this hard side of your personality will also give you the courage to act upon your beliefs, to speak out firmly against injustice. For example, the dean of a medical school called me a few years ago to report that one of our recent graduates overheard two of her teachers discussing the answers to the practical exam that she and her classmates were about to take. Rather than bowing to the pressure we all sometimes feel to succeed at any cost, she held to her sense of right and wrong. She went to the dean, she explained the situation, and she asked for a different exam. That took courage. It took strength of character. But you must develop not only toughness, you must develop gentleness. In this vein, we say you need to bend, to soften your positions. You must learn not just to speak, but also to listen, not just to hold firm, but also to compromise, not just to tough it out, but also to rest. Only by listening will you be able to grow and change, to discover where your thinking has holes and your work needs improvement. You will not win a contract or an argument simply by holding firm. You will need to be open, you will need to receive others' words and try to understand their position. If you can understand why others act the way they do, perhaps you can work a little better with them. For example, frustrated in a traffic jam on your way to work in the morning, someone cuts in front of you. Your impulse is to curse them. We won't go to road rage. Instead, consider that that person may be trying desperately to get to a hospital to witness the birth of their child or to say goodbye to a loved one. Consider others. Reach out to them. Compassion is a much underrated quality. A man who exemplifies this firmness and flexibility is Art Rooney, the founder and owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. In those early years of the franchise, you can well imagine he was a pretty tough negotiator, always well known for having a cigar clenched firmly in his mouth. But every morning, on his way to work, Art Rooney went to church. When asked why he did this, he went to a different church every day. He replied, "So I can put money in a different poor box every day of the week." If you can develop both resume virtues and eulogy virtues, so people will say both, "She is a go-getter," and "she's a wonderful human being," you will not only succeed, but more importantly, you will be happy. As the presiding bishop said yesterday, you will experience your full humanity. So my wish for you is that you learn to be both outspoken and understanding, courageous and compassionate, diligent and relaxed. If you do so, I am confident that you will experience the joy of loving and of being loved, of building a healthy mind and body, of knowing you've completed a job well done, and of finding as much fulfillment in your work as in your play. You have practiced this balancing at W&J, and you are prepared. You have learned empathy from literature, complex problem-solving skills from science, toughness from endless hours of sprints and weightlifting, the understanding of people from history and psychology, and appreciation of beauty in the arts. Using these strengths, I am confident that the members of the W&J class of 2015 will find a vaccine for Ebola, will create energy sources that do not foul or deplete our fragile planet, find a way to feed the hungry, and negotiate ways for all of us to live in a more peaceful world. You will help us fulfill our college's mission. So carry your knowledge, your compassion, your integrity, and your courage into the larger world, because we are counting on you. Go forth and create a self you can be proud of. And so thanks to the magic of language, you are transformed today from college students to college graduates. You're the same people who woke up this morning, and yet you're different. I want to thank you for sharing your lives with us, for allowing us the inexpressible joy of seeing you learn. I think we should also take a moment to thank the families who believed in you, who sacrificed to give you the kind of individualized attention and education that lays the foundation for future success. Please join me in a round of applause for the families of our graduates. Now, you may have noticed that there's a little water outside the tent. And as a result, we will be having a reception following the ceremony in the Rawson Campus Center. That's where the bookstore is and the ballroom. The reception will be in a variety of different rooms. It will be in the ski lodge, the ballroom, and George and Tom's. And I invite all faculty, staff, students, and their parents to join us there so you can find the people you will want to see for one last goodbye. I hope you'll also take time to thank the individual faculty who guided you, who pushed you and prodded you and ran to keep up with you as you made your way through W&J. Today, in you, they are losing members of their family. And now as the students recess from the tent, don't worry, we're not going during this little cloudburst. As the students recess from the tent, I know that parents and family are going to want to rush up and congratulate them. But let me ask that you allow the class to stay together as a class one more time. And we're going to march up, take a shortened route. We usually go up to Old Main, but because of the rain, we'll go up the sidewalk and across the angled sidewalk into George and Tom's and the ski lodge. If it is not raining at the time, I'll ask the faculty and trustees to split as we do traditionally. If it is raining, we will just all go in together. Before the recessional, however, we will close with the alma mater, the benediction, and the recessional with full color guard. When we sing the alma mater, I will ask you to rise, and after the alma mater, I want to hear witchy quacks. I want to hear the faculty, the staff, and the students in the class of 1965 loud and clear. So please rise for the alma mater and remain standing for the benediction, then be seated for the recessional unless you are recessing.